with that down, we finally have a host for the Oscars. Woo. It feels like no one wanted this job for a really long time, but I could not be more happy about this. Yes. We have Conan O'Brien set to host the 97th Oscars. I'm really, really pumped about this. I love him. I think he is such a wonderful, wonderful host. Here's what we've got from Deadline. It's official. The 97th Oscars have a host, and his name is Conan O'Brien. The Emmy-winning television host, writer, producer, and comedian, and now podcaster, will be the sole host for the 97th Academy Awards on March 2nd. Academy CEO Bill Kramer and Academy President Janet Yang announced today. It'll be O'Brien's first time hosting the broadcast, and they go on to say, "We are thrilled and honored to have the incomparable Conan O'Brien host the Oscars this year. He's the perfect person to help lead our global celebration of film with his brilliant humor, his love of movies, and his live TV expertise. His remarkable ability to connect with audiences will bring viewers together to do what the Oscars do best, honor the spectacular films and filmmakers of this year." Said O'Brien, "America demanded it, and now it's happening. Taco Bell's new cheesy chalupa supreme. In other news, I'm hosting the Oscars." And that is the kind of comedy I am expecting in this telecast. I want him to just do weird throw-tos for products that he is not actually affiliated with. I want him to do weird, like, Dadaist humor. I love this dude so much. I could not be more excited about this. I think he's got such great stage presence. He knows how to work a crowd. He can roll with the punches, and when something doesn't land, he can pivot in such a great way. I think this is a great choice. But John, I want to know how you feel about it. What do you think of Conan?
I think this will be a massive missed opportunity if they don't, like, say, 1/3 away through the show, have some people come out on stage, like security, and escort Conan off stage, and have Jay Leno come out to replace him. If they don't do that, it will be a massively missed opportunity. Okay, so here's, you got to understand my basic kind of philosophy when it comes to the Oscars. I personally would prefer, I've always felt this way, a movie personality hosting the biggest night of the movies. I don't get me wrong. Like, of course, Johnny Carson and I think Kimmel did a great job last year. We've had a lot of great hosts of the show and all that kind of stuff. But I really do think it was a missed opportunity. I think they should have moved heaven and earth to have Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds host this year. Like, I know it sounded like maybe they weren't available, didn't want to do. Well, they should have made them an offer they couldn't refuse. This was the perfect year to do that, and I think they should have done that. That being said, if you want to go with a TV personality, comedian, all that kind of stuff, how many better choices are there than Conan O'Brien? Not many. He's got such a sharp wit. He's so, if you ever watch him do interviews, he's so quick with coming up with stuff. He's incredibly irreverent when he wants to be. He just has a way of controlling. Now, the flip side of that coin is, while Conan is great, he's not necessarily for everybody. And but I guess not. There's really isn't anybody who is.
Right.
But the other interesting thing about this that we haven't talked about is that it sounded like for a while, because remember that one report came out of there where it looked like this year they were going to do host by committee, where they were going to have 3 or 4 different sets of hosts hosting different segments of it going through. But it sounds like they went right back to the traditional one host. I got to admit, I like that. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever had a chance to go to see Conan stuff when he does do stuff at Comic-Con, it's pretty great. Overall, I got to say, I think it's a pretty, if you're not going to do a movie personality, this is a good, solid choice. I like it.
Well, props to Conan for actually taking the job. A lot of people are passing this up. It's such a huge thing you have to do. So, like, you can depend on his Irish balls to actually, to do it. But you know what I love about Conan? Even when he says something that's kind of cringy or awkward, he knows how to play it off. And a lot of the Oscar hosting, sometimes it can get awkward. Sometimes there could be a joke that doesn't work. Conan is like the perfect guy that knows how to play it off and make me laugh still. Yeah. He's great at that. Of course, there's going to be some hits and misses, but I think they got the perfect guy. Like, this would be my choice. Like, if they had a lineup, he would be my choice.
I think I understand where John comes from with the keep it within that society or whatever. I don't mind it when it's a talk show host because they're so intrinsically linked with
Yes.
Hollywood, the promotion. They're
That's a
all
good
friends. And with him having his podcast and then going off of what Ray was saying about maybe moments that are like their misses, he can flip that because they're all friends for the most part in that room. And so they're not just going to leave him hanging like they might leave someone who they don't trust or they don't necessarily like.
Exactly.
I think he's going to get away with a lot more than ordinarily, you know?
Oh, I definitely think that.
Have you guys? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just piggybacking off of all of that, I do think that hosting and performing are two different skills. And we know that Hugh Jackman has that. And we've seen Ryan Reynolds do great presentation moments, but not a whole show. Steve Martin and Martin Short are great people who are incredible actors, wonderful comedians, and also great hosts, right? I think Conan O'Brien really ticks a lot of these boxes of he knows how to host something. He knows how to keep things moving. He can play a bit really well. He can deliver really great jokes. And so you won't have that kind of awkwardness that can come with somebody who is deeply intrinsically tied to movies in the same way actors are, like when we had the Franco Hathaway hosting debacle where Anne Hathaway was fighting for her life and James Franco was there. So I do like having a comedian in the mix here, which is really nice.
And that was in that period where we're like, Franco can do anything. And then we're like, I'm starting to see
apparently
crap.
not.
Well, and then he took that too far, didn't he?
And then he did everything.
And we went, no, sir, no,
And if
you
guys-
can't.
And if you guys have seen Conan's latest stuff I think it's on Max, where Conan travels. Have you seen that series?
Oh, I haven't watched that. No.
It's very good. Like I miss Conan on actual TV. But
great.
yeah, he's great on that. It's really funny.
His
You guys should check it
podcasts are
out.
great too.
His
Just very
podcast is
conversational.
really good. Chris, you mentioned Steve Martin and Martin Short recently. If you guys haven't seen it, you should go watch the Conan podcast with those two on
yeah.
it. With
Oh,
him.
they were on there?
Okay.
And they just roast him.
Sweet.
It's so
They roast
so
Conan?
funny. They were all so
the
good.
highest honor, I think, is Martin Short just talking shit to you to your face. That just
I think he's
So
just
good at it.
programmed to
Ugh.
do that. He's just
He's so good at it.
immediately gets into roast.
oh,
It's crazy.
everyone seems to love it.
Yeah.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Jean. So the colder season is here, and guess what? I am living in the perfect jean. These jeans are super stretchy, soft, and totally trick people into thinking I've got my life together. And I'm telling you this because I actually love them. These are absolutely, no questions asked, my favorite jeans that I have ever owned. And yes, the folks over at The Perfect Jean are paying me to say that, but it's still absolutely true. These are my favorite jeans ever. These jeans have enough stretch to accommodate Thanksgiving dinner and are comfy enough to wear all day watching Sunday football. Plus, even though they feel like sweatpants, they look good enough to be your go-to pants for date night. And listen, the Perfect Jean isn't even just pants. They've revolutionized t-shirts as well. The Perfect Tee has just enough stretch to hide that beer belly while accentuating your arms and chest for that flawless look. My guys, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with the promo code Campea. And after you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you. F your khakis and get the perfect jean.
Guys, question is for you. How do you feel about Conan O'Brien being the host for the 97th annual Oscars? Are you into this choice, or do you think they should have gone a different route? Let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.